Hello everyone, Loaded Buggy here, back with another Call of Duty 4 commentary for you, and today is Tuesday. And Tuesday means that we have another question in Buggy's inbox. And today's question is from frequent commenter Own the Night, and they left a comment on my addiction video, and they said the following. Great video, Buggy. I feel like it really spoke to me. I've got some battles of my own. I don't know if you've made a video post about depression and hopelessness, but I struggle a lot with that and was wondering what you may have to say about that subject. Keep up the great content. Your videos are always entertaining and uplifting, so thank you, Buggy. First of all, Own the Night, thank you so very much for watching my channel and leaving this comment. I see your comments very frequently, and I appreciate you being a frequent viewer of my channel. And yes, to answer the short part of your question is I have talked about this, not in detail, but a very small amount. I have talked about this in a previous video. I believe it was called Weathering the Storm. And I have dealt with depression in my own life, and I know you're not alone. Sometimes I like to bring up stats and just to kind of put into perspective how many people are going through the same thing that you are going through, or how many people have gone through the same thing that you're currently going through. And according to healthline.com, they state that roughly, according to the World Health Organization, about 280 million people worldwide have depression, including 5% of the world's adults and 5.7% of adults above age 60. So that's a absolute massive amount of people are currently struggling with depression, let alone the ones who have struggled with depression in the past. And the thing about depression it can be one of the most crippling mental ailments or struggles that you can experience in your entire life. And I personally have dealt with it when I was about 16. I was peak puberty, and so I was already going through it. But my mind had just decided at that point that I was no longer the happy-go-lucky person that I was. And as my body was going through all of these changes, everything good that I had, at least internally, to say about myself, it just vanished. It completely vanished. I lost hope of my potential. I lost hope of any good quality that I had about myself or thought about myself. It was just gone. And I still to this day don't know, other than puberty, that's the only thing that I can point to. There's nothing in specific, no particular life event that I think really triggered this depressive state. I mean, there were things that happened in my life that led me to question other things, and I've talked about that before. I'm talking about mainly my faith. There were other events that happened that made me question my faith, but that didn't lead me into the depressive state that I was in. And like I said, to this day, I still don't know what led me to that depressive state, but I know what it felt like to be there, and it truly does feel hopeless. So what I will first of all say is, On the Night, you are not alone. 280 million people have depression currently, according to the World Health Organization. That's an absolute massive, massive number. So first of all, you're not alone, and you can get through this, and you will get through this. I am a perfect example. Me, along many, many others, have gone through depression, experienced depression, and found our way out of it over time. One thing that I think is really important to remember, and I often stress this whenever I talk about anything regarding the mind, is that whenever you're looking for something to change internally, you have to remember that things will not change overnight. Things can and do often get better overnight, but they don't always fix overnight. And that's something that's important to remind yourself, is you will have bad days, but you'll also have some good days as time goes on. And one thing that I used to do, and it sounds silly, maybe even a little cringy, if you will, but one thing that I used to do towards like the peak of my depressive state is I would go into the bathroom and I would verbally look myself in the mirror and tell myself at least 3 qualities, physical or mental, that I liked about myself. And I didn't have to believe them there in that moment. But speaking them into existence, looking myself in the eyes and speaking them into existence, over time I started to believe that what I was saying was actually the truth. And it took some time. It did take some time. But it really does make a difference whenever you can hear those qualities about yourself and the things that truly are good about yourself. Whenever you can hear them, it makes receiving them that much easier, because whenever you're just sat there trying to think, oh, I think I'm funny, or I think I look good in a black t-shirt, or just anything that you want to say, if you're just thinking them, your mind will immediately attack itself again and be like, yeah, that's a lie. That's not the truth. But if you speak them into existence, your mind can't stop your mouth from speaking the words if you force them out. And like I said, you don't have to believe them, because eventually you will believe them, because those are the truths. Of course, everyone has bad qualities about themselves, but I have never met a person in my entire 30 years of living that has not had at least one good quality about them. So you can start with that one quality and remind yourself of how good you are, or how good that quality is, and just keep telling yourself that, because you'll start to see, oh yeah, I do really like how I look wearing a black t-shirt. And then the next day, you may be like, that joke I told my mom the other day was really funny. Or whatever it may be. And you'll start to remind yourself of who you truly are. Not what your brain's telling you right now. Because when you're in your depressive state and you are hopeless, there are so many lies that your brain is constantly telling you that are simply just not true. And sometimes they're just so utterly fabricated in your mind that it's so off base, but your brain can't help but try to believe that that's the truth and what you're saying to yourself is the truth. And you have to remind yourself that that's not the truth. You are the best sum of all your parts. You know, all of your collective good qualities is who you are at the core. That's who you are. Not the bad things about yourself, because those bad things can be fixed. Those bad things can be fixed really easily if you take the time. But the good things is what makes you who you are. And if you focus on those things, it can really help to alleviate some of the pressure you put yourself through during the depressive and hopeless times. There will be bad days, but there are good days ahead, I promise you. I've been there, I've been through it, and I know that you can find your way out of this dark, dark tunnel, because at the end of every tunnel, the light is there. You will find the light on the night. Thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed this type of content, or my advice was of some value to you, please leave a like on the video, leave a comment in the comment section below if you have any suggestions on topics for future commentaries, or if you have questions that you would like me to answer in future commentaries and future episodes of Buggy's Inbox. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, click the subscribe button down below for future uploads, and without further ado, thank you all for watching this video. Bye now.